Hey everybody, welcome to my latest video. This is video number 3 in my Batman Triumphant series. This is a series of figures I'm basing off a conjecture idea if Joel Schumacher had been allowed to make another Batman movie and it had been titled Batman Triumphant. I know there's a Batman Unchained title. There's different titles. I've heard plots. I've heard all kind of different ideas. But the one constant was that Scarecrow and most likely Harley Quinn were going to be villains in the movie. So I've done my Batman, I've made Robin into a Nightwing, and I've cobbled a Harley, which even though it's a fairly simple combination, she was a lot more work than you might think. And the Scarecrow, who was a lot of work, but there was a blessing in the base figure. So let me start real quick with Harley. Harley, I first got this one I thought was going to work fine. This was a DC Direct. I think it's from Mad Love set that had the Joker and Harley, and I only got the Harley. And she's just a little short. She was a little small, like a young teenager or a very small person playing it. But I loved her head, and I practiced on the suit. I did some experimentation. I just left it black and red. But I did the zipper idea I had for it. And I took that ugly collar off. I've never liked the collar. So what I did was when I actually got to my colors, if you notice, this one is a little different. Like, look at the red there. There's a little different in the shade of the red, right? Well, this one's more just red. It's the plastic. I didn't even change it. And black. My figure, I mixed red in keeping with the Joel Schumacher school of color. I mixed the red with an iridescent color that was kind of a lava. It's sort of a hot pink, and it's an iridescent color. And I mixed about 50-50 red and iridescent. And it already gave her a very iridescent color, not unlike what the Batman and Robin suits sort of look like, the sheen. And I took my black, and I mixed, I've got that paint here. I didn't think of the other one. But pearlized Createx, and it's called Plum. It's really pretty purple, but very loud color. And I mixed the black, about 10% of that purple. I didn't want the purple to show through as purple. And ironically, it looks a little blue. But then I glossed it. And I usually gloss things. I don't use gloss paint. I usually paint things, spray them with my favorite weapon of choice, Mr. Super Clear, Mr. Hobby, Mr. Super Clear Matte, because it makes anything better and it detoys any figure. But in this case, I came back with a gloss, which is Intermediate Gauzy Agent Shine Enhancer. And the thing about Gauzy is you put layer after layer on. You put one layer and it just looks like leather. And you keep building the layers up and you start getting these glassy glosses, and it's very durable, dries very fast, and it's self-leveling. So when you paint it on, you don't have a bunch of glossy, gooey brush strokes. It levels itself out. In fact, there'll often be little bubbles in it that just go away, and it's incredible. But you can see now it looks like a latex fetishistic outfit, which, hey, sorry, kind of like that. So put my zipper in, added, and took the collar off. Put a kind of a zipper hole there, a little keyring thing under her chin. Used the head that I had that I like better because I like the little hanging doodads on her hair, on her head, these things. I just liked them better. And I like the face and the expression and the smile better. The other one had a ghoulish face, and the head things like the McDonald's arches. It just didn't look very good. But that is a McFarlane body and a DC Direct head. So all that to make Harley, and it took some trial and error. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. That's a DC Direct hammer she's got there that I repainted to just look like wood. Okay, you've seen pieces of the Scarecrow sitting around. You probably noticed this head here. Well, that's a big clue. If it looks a bit like an evil Jeff Goldblum with some gray in his hair, well, that's exactly who it is. What I did was I ended up buying 2 or 3 Scarecrow figures off the market, different DC Direct things, one from 1997 that was totally useless. It had a hat that I thought I might use, but I didn't. And I used as many pieces as I could, but I said, this just isn't going to work. And I got an Ian Malcolm not McFarlane. It's a McFarlane size though, but it's a Jurassic Park Ian Malcolm that ends up being about 7 inches tall. And he was great. He had multi-posability. He fit in with the McFarlane style well enough. So the first thing I did was, well, I made this great big scythe. I went out in the yard and found some sticks, and I got my favorite one. Cut some plastic, rusted it up, trimmed it, did what I could to make it. I wanted him to have a big scythe. I want a big, threatening character here. The other thing I did was I took a McFarlane Batman cape. You know, these not plastic, but the cloth capes that come on the Batman figures. Well, I just shredded the crap out of it and pulled it around in front and kind of dirtied it, you know, scribed it, dirtied it, pulled it around in the front and secured it right under his chin. The other thing that saved me was a DC Direct Alex Ross Scarecrow, which was one of the best Scarecrows on the market, but his costume was a little boring to me. It was just, he looked like a monk. But I liked this mantle thing. I thought this was interesting. But I didn't like the flat bottom, so I cut it, I taper cut it where there was some points like the shredded parts were. And then I didn't like the tapers being the end of that. You couldn't see them against the black. So I added these little strings to look like rope. And I frayed the ropes at the bottom. He's just got this, I wanted hanging, dangly bits on my Scarecrow. I mean, you can look and see some patches. See, there's patch on his arm there. There's stitching. I added lines of stitching and patches. Ropes on the back. Shredding this was one of the most fun parts. That was so cool. Take little scissors and just cut and cut. I dirtied and all that. The Malcolm boots. I kind of like the Malcolm boots because I like these little metal rings. Well, I've got to do one thing that you have to do from time to time to help him stand. Get that scythe up there where he can balance on it. And actually, I was going to use the Malcolm head, which I had reworked, and find a mask for it and use this other hat. I had this other hat that I'd worked on. It fit him and it looked pretty good. And I've even got some glasses that came with the DC Direct Scarecrow. I think I will show a shot of that at the end of the video of Scarecrow with his mask off with the glasses. But the DC Direct, I mean, you got Alex Ross's design to Scarecrow. You can't beat that. I'm like, damn, okay. But I didn't like the mask being just this piece of cloth. There was no features in it. But the hat shape was awesome, and I liked the little sticks in the top there. I liked that. But I love the hat shape. So I got in there, and I did some dry brushing on the mask, and I played around, and I started seeing a skull features. And I went, that's it. He would use a skull. So I got my skull shape in there, did the best I could with that. Gave him these two little red eyes. I thought he might have scary eyes in the dark, and that would stand out. And if you use the ultraviolet light and shine it just right, they glow. So you can kind of see he's got glowing eyes. So that was kind of a cool thing. I wanted my Scarecrow to be just as scary as I could make him. I wanted him to be ghoulish. He's got an evil, ghoulish skull grin. He's got the eyes, he's got the hat, a great collar, a very Dracula-like collar, a lot of dangly bits, ropes, whatnot, the scythe, he's like death. Now, I don't show any kind of spray or gun or anything where he dispenses his fear agent. I don't have that visible, but I imagine he's got that on him, so I don't worry about it at this point. But I kind of like the fade in colors, and he's the only one that doesn't have the metallic sheen thing going on anywhere. He's just all straw and brown and tan and rust and black and gray. He's dark shades, and he stands out from the other characters. When you see them all together, and I'm going to do a video that shows the entire Batman Triumphant crew together, and you'll see how they kind of interwork. But this is how I did them. This is what I did. The Ian Malcolm figure saved the day for me. It made the figure possible. It's really two main figures, the Ian Malcolm and the Alex Ross Scarecrow. And that's pretty much what he is. Oh, his hands are the Alex Ross Scarecrow too. but I actually think they work together. And, oh, one quick thing. Doesn't he kind of look Western? I mean, I ended up seeing sort of Man with No Name thing about him. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like that. That doesn't bother me. I like that Scarecrow's got a Western vibe. Anyway, comment. Anything you want to say. If you want to mention anything, comment away. If you like what I've done, please hit my like button. I really need it. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing some more of this kind of creative work very soon. But this Batman Triumphant project has been one of the most fun things I've ever done. And I've had a ball with them. So wait till you see them all together. They look really cool as a set. And when you can kind of imagine that McFarlane releases them as a 4-pack. I don't know if there's a Build-A-Figure in it. I don't know what I would do for that. But anyway, food for thought. Maybe you can suggest that in your comments. So anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you like my group and these two. And we'll see you next time with some wild and wacky fun.